This is an experience story drawn in the occult version of Japanese 2 Chanel. A small box I found by chance. Because of this box, my friend was in danger of death. This was a box made by people in the past who were tormented by discrimination to curse people. Why was this box in my friend's barn? What's inside this box? Because I can't see ghosts, so I didn't think I would write anything here. But I think I'll write a hot story that happened last month. For the time being, I'm writing with the permission of the main character of the story. I thought many people would believe me here. It may be long. As I said at the beginning, I have no psychic abilities at all. So I don't know if spirits are really involved. I want you to judge. I wrote down what I remembered about the conversation. So, the main subject. This story is about a friend with a strong sense of inspiration. I've known that friend since I was in junior high school, and even now, when I'm almost 30, we often hang out and go out for drinks. His family has served as Shinto priests at shrines for generations. I usually have a normal job, but I work as a Shinto priest during New Year's, Shinto rituals, and weddings. A family that does such a side job, maybe a main job. I usually live in a house near a shrine. So, on that day as well, I invited him to meet at my house first. He and his girlfriend arrived first and we were waiting for the other girl while playing video games. Let's call the shrines M. The girl who comes late is S, and me as M's girlfriend is K. After waiting for a while playing games, I got a call from S.
I'm sorry I'm a little late. I found something interesting in the barn, and my family was crazy about it. I was good at quizzes and puzzles, right? I'll bring you something interesting. Wait a little longer.
It was a phone call with the content. Then, 40 minutes later, S came. That moment, or rather, the moment S's car entered my house.
No way. No way. No way. What's going on? Dad's out today.
And what's wrong? Did you see it?
Are you okay? Again?
Of the dimension that can be seen, it's not a story, it's dangerous. This is it. S. Is it serious?
M usually doesn't talk much about things like being inspired, seeing ghosts, or working at a shrine. But sometimes I get scared like this. Both S and K know that. However, M doesn't like to be asked about it in detail, so he doesn't usually talk about it. S came up to my room. M feels pale.
S. What did you bring? Take it out.
Huh? Could it be that I brought something dangerous?
Yeah.
This. Next week, I'm going to dismantle the barn of my house. So I found it when I was cleaning.
Saying that, S took out a wooden box. It was a wooden box about 20 centimeters square. I guess that's what she said on the phone about the puzzle. A box made of wood that looks like a little Tetris block.
Stop. Don't touch.
At that moment, M rushes to the bathroom.
Ew.
I heard vomiting. It was K went to the bathroom and rubbed M's back. She's a good girl. After throwing up, M came back. M took out his cell phone and made a call.
Dad. Kotoribako. My friend brought Kotoribako. I'm scared I can't be like Grandpa.
M was crying. 29 years old calling Dad and crying. How terrifying is that? I was about to cry too.
Yeah, I can't see it, I can only see the box. There are traces, but they may not remain. Yeah, she's getting a little. Is in her belly. I think it's in the shape of a sippo, isn't it a sippo? There is a triangle inside. I have no doubt. But I don't know. I'm not my grandfather. Somehow, M was speaking technical terms that I didn't understand, but he kept repeating Kotoribako and shippo.
He said a lot more, but I forgot, sorry.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. If I fail, you will do it.
M hung up the phone here. At the end, M cried loudly for about 2 minutes, sobbed, said, okay, and sat on his knees and tapped his knees. He didn't cry anymore. He seemed to have decided something.
Lend me a cutter or a kitchen knife.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
I'm not going to kill someone, I have to exorcise SS. You might get scared when you see me, but don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid anyway. Don't be afraid. Exclamation mark. Do you lose? I wonder if I'll lose. Exclamation mark. I'm here. Don't be afraid. Sorry. I'll do it too. Grandpa, please look at me.
M roared as if to blow away his fear. S half crying. I was frightened. Both me and K are going to cry. I almost peed myself.
Okay, okay, I'll try.
S and K didn't know anything, but they said they understood.
Bring me a kitchen knife or cutter.
Okay. I handed the knife to M. I don't know why, but I have no choice but to do what M says.
Gah.
I twisted M's inner thighs. M cut his fingertips and palm with a kitchen knife while I pinched his thigh. Maybe you twisted it to make the pain go away?
S, open your mouth.
M put his bloody finger into S's mouth.
S, drink, even if it's bad, drink.
Ew.
S is crying. I was speechless. M repeated something like a prayer or a spell about 5 to 6 times. And as soon as M pulled his finger out of S's mouth, S vomited M's bloody puke.
Ew. It's out. I did it. It's okay. S is okay. Check it out, Grandpa.
M put his bloody hand over the wooden box.
Kotoribako. It's no good. It's no good. I should have done that.
M's face was about to cry again.
Call my father.
As I was told, I called M's father on M's cell phone and held the cell phone to M's ear.
Dad, I'm sorry, I forgot.
M held the mobile phone to his ear, placed his right hand on the small box, and was chanting something like a spell. It felt like I was singing.
It's over. Over.
M was crying again. Even though he's an adult, he broke down in tears. He cried a lot for about 20 minutes while being comforted by her. I, S, and K were also crying, and the 4 of us were crying. During that time, I feel like M never let go of the small box. I was crying so I don't remember much. Haha. After calming down a bit, M asked if there was a towel or something to tie the hand and the box together. I tied M's hand and the wooden box with a thin bath towel.
Now, do you want to go out for a drink?
All together, huh?
I'm joking. I can't do it today. Please send me home.
I wonder what kind of nerves he has. He's really strong. Everyone was exhausted that day, so I decided to drive them home. After that, M seems to have been absent from work for about 8 days. And yesterday I met with M and asked him about that time.
Oh, well, S's place may be a bad way to put it, but it's a village in the mountains. That kind of thing can be found in that kind of place. I kept that box after my father came home. It's better not to know too much.
It was like he didn't want to say anything. Beyond that, no matter how much I ask, they won't tell me. Just at the end.
What's inside it is the grudge itself. Well, the things inside are the tips of a lot of index fingers and the umbilical cord. Discrimination is absolutely forbidden. People's grudges are scary, because they create such things. Until now my grandpa took care of it. I thought that grandpa had cleaned up most of it, but I never thought I would be the one to do it. I was just doing whatever I wanted and didn't do much for the family business, so I was totally blown away. I'm going to study a little too well. It seems I'm not talented. Also, I talked about Baraku discrimination, but you shouldn't discriminate. Be on good terms with S as before. Discrimination is outdated, stupid.
It's obvious. Also, can I tell someone about this fun story?
You like ghost stories, even though you can't see ghosts.
I like it because I can't see it.
It's okay, you don't get cursed for talking.
I won't trust anyone anyway, I'll just be called a liar. That's why I wrote it here. Thank you for listening to my long story. I don't think he would be talking to this many people. I'm not good at computers. One last thing, this box. There was a story about a similar box on Tube channel before, right? It is said that when I opened the wooden box, there were nails and hair in it, and there was a piece of paper that the Showa Emperor asked me about. I remembered that I was glimpsing the contents of M's story yesterday, and suddenly. Is there a way to make such a spell? Well, I used it all morning and write it, so I'm tired. Also, 915 I don't live in Yamaguchi, but it's close. Thank you for waiting. Oh no, it's a big fuss. A single thread is running. I live in the countryside. I don't want you guys to know where I am. Please don't ask because I'm scared if you come to see me. It is said that Baraku discrimination has decreased, but I think that it has only become difficult to see. I'm afraid that some people like that may create new discrimination. However, as you may have guessed, it is Shima-ne Prefecture. In Japan, October is called Kanazuki, the month when there are no gods. According to mythology, the gods meet in Shima-ne Prefecture in October. So in other regions it's a month without gods, but in Shima-ne prefecture it's a month with gods. I didn't want my region identified. I regret talking too much. But I want information about the box. I thought someone here has info. As expected, it became too famous on the bulletin board, so I thought it was dangerous. I just called M and S and told them what happened.
Even if you know where this place is, you won't know the details, so don't worry.
Apparently. While I was on the phone, I asked M what I missed yesterday. 1. People other than S who were there, in other words, are me and K okay? 2. Also, is the family who played with that small box before coming to my house okay? 3. I'm begging you. Tell me what it was. I can only sleep 6 hours every night because I'm worried. These are the 3 points. M's answer below. Answer for 1 2. It only affects children and women who give birth to children. S's father and brother are out of the question, but his mother, isn't she menopausal? S's grandmother too. Of course you are fine. I thought it might be dangerous for K, but since I only touched him for a short time, there shouldn't be any problems. If something happens, my father will be there and I'll be fine. It is said that he was out with M's mother on a trip that day. 3. Actually, M doesn't seem to know the details either. However, Kotoribako is said to be a box to snatch away children. I don't know if it's true, maybe he lied to fool me. Judging from yesterday's conversation, I think M actually knows. But it may have been so serious that it had to be hidden. I'm even more scared, but I'm curious. Next, I called S after that. A contractor came to dismantle the barn, but at that time, I got into a big fuss with the old man next door. She wants to tell us that story. S said he was scared, but her curiosity was winning over her. And, the 4 of us, M, S, K, and A, are scheduled to meet tomorrow. I wanted to talk to M's father, but it was difficult to ask his father what M didn't want to answer. I want to know everything. I'm posting on this board for information, but if a friend tells me to stop, I'll stop. Because I don't want to lose my friends. I act out of curiosity now, but I also feel guilty for letting out a secret. I will write about what happened yesterday. It's so long that I hate it. I wasn't sure if I should post it, but the 4 of us consulted. I have some ideas and decided to post them. I'm confused because I accidentally heard something quite shocking. Since we talked for nearly 5 hours, please understand that I have relied on my memory to supplement the details of the conversation to make it more like a conversation. Also, I only wrote the main remarks. I have M and S take a look at it and make some corrections before uploading. As of the night of the 6th, the plan was for the 4 parties to listen to S at my house. S wanted to talk with S's family and the neighbor's grandfather, who said there was a disturbance when the barn was demolished, so we decided to go to S's house. Was there M, S, K's father, S's mother, S's grandmother, and S's next-door neighbor. Let's call him J. The content of the story is as follows. First, S talks about when the barn demolition contractor came after the incident. 2 days after what happened at my house. On May 23rd, when the contractor I had been ordering came to move the dismantling machine into the site and start working. It seems that J, who lives next door, has spoken to S's father. When S's father told his grandfather to dismantle the barn, J protested. It seems that he had a quarrel with S's father, and when S heard that voice,
Maybe Jay knows about that box?
thought she, and she went outside. At this time, she had not yet told her family about the incident.
Don't break the barn.
Is the reason for your objection about that box? What exactly is that box?
When she heard something like that, Jay looked very, very surprised.
Did you find the box? What happened to that box? Are you okay?
When S explained the details of the incident, Jay apologized, saying that it was his responsibility. And
The problem happened because I didn't tell you. I have something to tell you and your family in the near future.
saying so, he went home. And it seems that S told his father, who was stunned, about the incident. After that, she was annoyed that Jay didn't come to talk to her. And just then got a call from me. Then, she thought that if M were to come, today would be the only time. Together with her father, she persuaded Jay to come and talk about the things that need to be said today. Next, the story of M.
Mr. J, could you talk?
Jay seemed unsure if he should speak in front of an outsider.
May I speak first?
Then M started to speak.
Mr. J, shouldn't that box be in your house now? In this day and age, the curse may be thought of as a fiction, but except for this box. I was told many times by my grandfather and father. In fact, I've seen my grandfather and father handle it a few times. The two of them were serious when they talked about the box. There is also a control book. And although it was an accident, there were times when people died because of the box. This time, I was caught in a box, and my father was worried about something suspicious. Last night, I looked at the control book with my father. Then, the place where Shippo now was Mr. J's house. It's funny then. My father said, just as I thought. It was a promise not to contact the family who manages the box. Booty thought I had to go this time. My father said he would go, but I'm the one who exorcised him this time, so I came today.
Mr. J and everyone else listened in silence. Because it is a content that only M and J know.
So Mr. J, if you have a box in your house, it can't be helped that Mr. S's father doesn't know about the box. Mr. S's grandfather passed away shortly after receiving the box from the T family.
S's grandfather passed away when we were junior high school students.
In the control book, the transfer from T house to S house to J house was within 1 year. I can understand why S's grandfather didn't have time to tell his father. Besides, considering the number of years promised, it is unlikely that S's father will get his turn. There is a high possibility that you or the T family will be the last one. But this time the box was found at S's house. This is funny, isn't it? I didn't do much in the family business, so I hadn't looked closely at the control book, but I was honestly surprised when I saw it with my father last night. Until I heard about S, I thought maybe there was a mistake and you didn't know about the box, but you know, right? I knew it, but I didn't take it over. And I knew it was at S's house and kept silent. I was able to exorcise this time without incident, so I thought that all I had to do after that was to get rid of the prying eyes. It's just that everyone in S's family didn't know about it due to some kind of mistake. There's no problem. To be honest, I was in a hurry, and I was scared, but even today, if I hadn't seen the control book with my father yesterday, I don't think I would have come here. If it's the original promise, it's forbidden to come here from my house. That's why I want you to hide the fact that I'm here today. I'm mad at you, my dad too, that this box wasn't taken control of properly. However, I also understand that it is a very cruel story to say that you have to keep the promises of ancestors whose faces you don't even know. I feel like running away. I was too. Even I wanted to run away from seeing the box that day. Even though it was only for a short time, I seriously thought about running away. It's terrifying to store that thing for 10 years, decades. If something like this happens elsewhere, that's a problem. This time, it just so happened that S didn't approach the box by chance. S happened to have an appointment with me that day. Otherwise S might have died. And other boxes may cause problems. So could you please tell me why this happened? And K as the woman who was there. Of course it's a body that can give birth to a child. She is no outsider. She is a victim. And A may be an outsider, but he may not. This guy's name is It's not a common surname around here, is it?
I couldn't understand him. But Mr. J is looking at me.
Ah. That's right.
According to J.
First, I should explain about the box. Shippo
I thought it was Shippo, but it seems to be Chippo.
was managed by 3 families, the S family, the J family, and the T family. The T residence was diagonally across from the S residence. It is a box managed by 3 families. And that box is kept by the 3 families in order, and after the death of the landlord of the next order receives it from the heir of the predecessor after the funeral, and keeps it until the landlord who received it dies again, and repeat. The landlord who received it tells the heir about the box. If there is no tracer, tell after the tracer is available. If you are not blessed with a heir, pass it on to the next roundhouse. The same is true for other groups. It could be 3 or 4 households. And don't talk to each other about the boxes other teams have. The reason for turning is to dilute the contents of the box. The landlord who received the box should never let women and children near the box. And the house that does not manage the box monitors the house that manages it. Also, get an amulet from M's house and replace the old amulet on the box. Keep the promised number of years, and after the contents of the box have diluted, have it delivered to M's house for processing. It seems that he made such a promise with M's shrine a long time ago.
So, as promised in the old days, my house processed the box that was brought in, and held a memorial service. Keep track of all the boxes here and who's the current custodian of the boxes.
That's right. Originally, I was supposed to take over the box when Grandpa S passed away. But I was really scared. I'm sorry, but please forgive me. T's father died.
He was the predecessor of S's family.
And S's grandfather, who took over the family, also died one after another. In such a state, I was afraid when S father would bring the box. But after the funeral, S father did not come even after a few days. So I consulted with T. Maybe S father doesn't know anything, maybe he can escape from the box. And first, I asked S's father about the box, to make sure he hadn't heard anything about it. And continue to monitor the barn and leave the box in the S house. T is to move after a while after replacing the amulet. That way, the other teams might think, that's the end of it. I, who was supposed to take over, continue to monitor the S family. And when the promised year comes, J will take it out of the barn and deliver it to the M shrine. And I'm really sorry. Even if S or S's mother approaches the box by then and dies, S's family doesn't know about the box. We had a rule that we weren't allowed to talk about other teams' boxes, so I figured that people wouldn't know about it. I talked about that with T. That's why I don't know about other teams' boxes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this.
Mr. J got down on the ground and apologized over and over again. S's father was told by S's grandfather, who died, not to go near the barn. Also, it's actually a creepy barn, and I don't think I dared go near it. Similarly for S, so, this time, we decided to demolish it anyway, and we were sorting out the inside. At that time, S found the box. Father S, Mother S, Grandmother S couldn't believe it, but only Grandma S seemed to agree with something.
That's why I wasn't allowed to go near the barn.
She was saying something like that. The story of M continues.
I see, so that's what it was. Even though I didn't take over, I had to monitor it, and in the end I couldn't escape from the box. After all, I suffered. S father, S mother, S grandmother, S. It's an unrealistic story, you might not believe it. But this is the reality, and as silly as it may sound in this day and age, it is. But please don't get mad at Jay for those who know what that box is, they want to escape so much. Well, I don't have a box anymore, so I'm relieved. I thought it was fun to hear an interesting story, so I want you to forgive Mr. J.
Mr. J hung his head, and it was painful to watch.
Also, I think everyone probably wants to know what's inside that box. Now that I've said this, I want you to listen to the end. I don't know everything, but I will tell you what I do know. I've already finished the box here, so I don't think there's a problem. But I have to exorcise 2 more boxes. Also, I have to tell S's father about this. And A will listen persistently about this story. That box is called a Kotoribako, a box containing the bodies of culled children. It was made in the late 1860s to early 1980s. This village is one of the most severely discriminated and persecuted areas in this area. And because the persecution was so intense, they killed many children to reduce food costs. This village was under the jurisdiction of the region. In particular, direct persecution from the area seems to have been severe. So, I want a worker, so I have a child, but there is no decent salary if you thin out your children because it's hard to make a living. You understand this, don't you? So you know there was a rebellion in the Oki Islands in the late 1860s, right? The rebellion seems to have been quelled in about a year. One of the people who caused the rebellion at that time escaped to this village. He was exiled to this island. You learned a little about the reason for the rebellion at school, didn't you? The fact that Oki was a very wealthy land. Well, that's fine. So, the person sent to the island has a name.
It was the same as my last name. I don't understand why. Hereafter referred to as AA.
According to the story, AA escaped when the rebellion was quelled and they were brought here. He ran away to this village. People in this area tried to kill
AA.
I thought that if found out, I would be persecuted even more. So AA said something like, if you save my life, I'll give you weapons. That weapon is a small box. How to make a small box? The people of the village heard what the weapon was, and as a result of consultation, they decided to accept the conditions. Ah has given another condition. I will teach you how to make a weapon, small box, but I want you to give me the first box you make. Tell me if I can comply with the conditions. Kill me if you can't. The village people accepted it. And Ah taught me how to make a box. Ah told me that I could stop after asking how to make it, and that I could kill him. This box is terrifying. In my heart, I may have thought that I should stop AA as well. However, if I finish it, I will kill myself, but there is still something I have to do.
That's what AA said. How to make a box. It looks like it's going to be dangerous to put it all on, so I'll explain it briefly.
So the method is to first make a wooden box with a complicated combination of trees. This seems to be done to make it difficult to open the wooden box. Then fill the crate with the blood of the female cattle and wait a week. And put the lid on before the blood dries. Next, I make the contents, and I think this is the origin of the Kotoribako. Ko is a child, tori is take away, bako is a box, in Japanese. I think you can imagine. Put in the body parts of the child killed. Immediately after birth, the umbilical cord, the tip of the index finger, and the first joint and the blood squeezed from the internal organs. Children up to 7 years old, the tip of the index finger and the blood squeezed from the child's internal organs. Children up to 10 should use the tip of the index finger and cover it. The name of the box changes depending on the number of children trapped and their ages. Alone Ippo, 2 people Naho, 3 people Sanpo, 4 people Shippo Gohyu with 5 people, Ropo with 6 people, Chippo with 7 people. Ah reminded me that it would be absolutely useless to go beyond that. Mark each box as a landmark. For example, triangle is Ippo, and square is Naho. However, Ah asked us to put 8 children under the age of 7 into the box. This is called hake, and apart from hake, give me a woman and a child. And, Ah also said, never make more than one. Normally, you don't act after hearing such a story. The story of such a suspicious human being, let alone the worst story. No matter how hard life is, even killing your own child is excruciating pain. Furthermore, such treatment to the corpse of the murdered child. But our ancestors here agreed, and they did it. I don't know what the motives and feelings were. That must have been a tremendous amount of persecution. It's so painful that even if it means sacrificing a child, you have to pick up a weapon. And they made the first small box. Each family consulted repeatedly, and the worst consultation of which child to kill, and it was executed. And then, the hake was completed. Ah explained what the box was and what it do. I demonstrated it using the woman and child requested by him. The names of the child and the woman are, and the names of the 8 children who were victimized are. Have you heard of it?
We know the name, but I can't say it, I'm really sorry.
And the effect is to kill women and children. Also painful. For some reason, my internal organs are gradually torn apart, just by being around them, let alone touching them. And the residents who saw the effect with their own eyes decided to continue making boxes. Chippo was the first box the residents made for themselves. This is the one I exorcised. 7 children's box. In less than 2 weeks, 15 children and a woman were killed. You can't imagine it in this day and age, can you? It's terrible. Then, I delivered the finished box to the headman as a token of appreciation and sincerity from the residents. The headman's house was in a terrible state. Women and children vomited up blood and died in agony. And it seems that the inhabitants also told the people in charge of and the surrounding areas other than, we want you to leave me alone and not get involved with the tribe in the future. I can't forgive the grudges I've had so far, but if you leave us alone, we won't do anything. If you protect us, even the people in this area who are working it will not go to in the future. And if I get revenge for this, I will spread this curse again. The box sent to the village headman should be returned to the tribe immediately. Don't tell people why you're leaving us alone. We continue to make boxes. And we already have 7 boxes. I think it was a bluff to say that there are 7 of them. I want to think so. It's rude to say it, but to the residents at that time who couldn't even read or write, I don't think it's possible to come up with something like this. Was it AA's wisdom? It seems that all the surrounding areas, including, have accepted this condition. I wonder if this incident was spread as a rumor around that time. It seems that all interference with the village immediately stopped. So, the adults in this tribe continued to make this box. It seems that Ah has already gone somewhere. It seems Ah was teaching them how to manage the box. Never let a girl or child near you. Always store the box in a dark and damp place, and the contents of the box are getting weaker and weaker with each passing year. If you no longer need it or it is too much to handle, ask the shrine that enshrines to dispose of it. Not at the temple, the punishment must be a shrine that enshrines, and it seems that the residents continued to make boxes for 13 years. Except for the first box, but only when it was absolutely necessary to cull children. It seems that an unwanted child was placed in a box that had been made. When killing children, adults said, "You died because of." I guess I was pushing the responsibility on because I wanted to escape the guilt of killing even a little. After 13 years of making boxes, the 16th box was completed. Even if you simply calculate 56 children. It is said that there were boxes that failed to create, so there must have been more. Then, in the 13th year, an incident occurred. At that time, all the boxes were kept in one place, and the box was monitored. But then an incident happened. An 11-year-old boy has stolen a box. Worst of all, it was Chippo. The strength of the curse increases with the number of children inside. Moreover, Chippo has just been completed. The box is a design that will be very interesting to children. The boy who got a toy that looked interesting took it home. All the children and women in the house died that day, including the child. For the first time, the inhabitants feel the fear of the box, and if this weapon is caught off guard, it will also affect them. Once again, I was keenly aware of baring my fangs. And once you bare your fangs, there will be unwanted deaths before you stop. Surely. And the terrified residents decided to dispose of the boxes. 5 representatives came to my ancestral home. And then they asked my ancestors to handle it. However, my ancestors who felt that the power of the box was too strong suggested weakening the curse on the box. That's the way Mr. J said. Now you understand, right? Also, please do not bring the box until the promised time. The shrine will not contact the village. Be sure to report after the previous admin passed away. 110 years depending on the strength of the box, 140 years for Chippo. I made that rule so that you can't escape from managing the box. Then, after we were divided into groups, we decided on 1 representative. Each group was assigned a representative. And tell my shrine which box was delivered to which group. After my ancestors received the box, its representative will be killed. With this, I don't know which box will be stored by which team for how many years. And it seems that it was taboo for people outside the group to talk about the box. The reason why I didn't decide to manage it as a whole is probably this is what my grandpa used to say: rather than taking responsibility as a whole and having less responsibility, isn't it made so that they can't escape by increasing the burden with a small number of people? So, after storing the promised number of years, you processed the brought box. Grandpa was unlucky. The period of many promises was the generation of my grandfather and my great-grandfather. The rule is completely unknown about the number of years promised for each box. I was able to get rid of all the other boxes from my grandfather's generation. Chippo is the only one who's really long, and it's my generation. I didn't do anything because I thought it was still ahead, but seriously. That's all. Regarding the box, what I know and the Chippo I exorcised was the first Chippo made.
At a later date, also M said on the phone.
I don't know how they decided on the age of the box. Maybe my ancestors knew something about boxes. A person named Ah may have asked him to do so if he had such a story.
That's what happened last night. Well, it's a story that could even be the subject of a 3-penny novel. I, who witnessed the box incident in reality, am confused as to what is going on. I was really at a loss as to how to post this. I think it's obviously a taboo topic, and as a villager, it would be a problem if it leaked out. However, M said that there were only 2 boxes left. Chippo is 2. You said that M can take responsibility and handle this, and still had too many mysteries. I decided to post it because I wanted to borrow the power of everyone. That's what I said at the beginning. What I want to ask you. After reading this story, if you have any information about this, please let me know. I can't tell you the details of the area, and I can't tell you everyone's name because I'm scared. It's our personal desire to know. Listening to M, it seems that M and M's father have many unknown points. Also, S, his family, and K want to know as much as possible. It's an occult story, and I think it's not credible. I don't think I would believe it if I didn't actually see the box. Who is Ah and where did it originally come from? Ah was where did you learn how to make a box? Also, for what reason was Ah in Oki? Did the first box called Hake go where? And what happened to Ah after that? And what did Ah do with Hake? And I learned that political prisoners from the Kyoto area were sent to Oki. Is the way this box is made around Kyoto? And this includes my personal desire to know my roots. I heard that your ancestors on your father's side came from the Oki Islands when your parents were alive. I don't know the details, so I don't know if I have anything to do with Ah. Of course my sisters don't know, and even if I ask my grandmother on my mother's side, I can't tell. For those who are familiar with history, the local history where the word Hake comes out, don't you have any information about old tales? The origin of the name of the box is also unknown. It's just my imagination. Ippo, Naho and so on are 1 sealed, and 2 sealed. I wonder if Hake means 8 open seal. We can't reveal our names, especially my own last name. I'm sorry, but if you have any information, please let me know. I myself plan to look up local history at the library. If I find anything, I will write here again. Thank you. And finally, about M's story last time, my subjectivity is included. After reading this sentence, M said, I don't say it in such a cool way. This event was a shocking event to my heart. I can't help but think and say nothing. Thank you for visiting.